plenty of action coming up. As you said, we've got the endurance or the mini enduro for the V8 class, and 250Ks up ahead for the drivers in this one tonight, featuring 2 pit stops as well. So we're going to see a fair bit of action out on track and also in the pit lane, which could add a little bit of controversy to this one as well. Side by side, the Henry James racing cars of the Sean Slater and Jordan Gallagher. Here we go. Revs start to rise. Race is about to get underway.
All right, let's get this show on the road for Saturday. The V8's 250Ks is green.
Haywood,
and there looks like a bit of a stall in the background. There looks like the number, pardon me, there on the inside row, we have one of our R2 shifters cars. A bit slow off the side. A spin for Chrisdale there. Gavin Cox involved in the 555 machine, and it looks like one of the other shifters enters the 99. Jordan Gallagher gets tripped up and all of that one there as well. And I think it was Sean Slater in the 39 Jing Shifters R2 Commodore what I picked up.
Yeah, he was slow getting away from the line, yeah. But Haywood had an absolutely horrible launch as well. He just did a huge burnout rather than getting it away from the line. Of course, it is very difficult with the very long gear ratio to get these things away very, very easily. But other than that incident we saw at the start there with Gavin Cox getting involved with Jordan Gallagher, looks like we've got away relatively okay. Gallagher, though, fair bit of damage to the rear of his car. He'll be down a little bit on straight line speed.
Oh, Slater there, all kinds of loose over the top through Sulman Park. First lap here in these cars, and it looks like there's certainly a handful already as the field comes up and over Reed and McPhillamy Parks. For the first time, leaders already descending down past through the dipper. The field's fanning out pretty quickly here at this stage as we check out your leaders here. King from Gilbert, from DeGraff, Haywood and Spriggs, your top 5 as they come down into Forest Elbow for the first time. Just in behind there, we've got Toby Stent, Tyler Bowen, Dan Stevens, Simon Zomo, top 9 all lined up in a row here. Then Garfin, Thomas Riley, 10th and 11th there. A little bit further on back, set up a little pocket in between our front pack and then our next pack in the outside of the top 10 here. We focus in on Stevens and Mazomo on their first time down Conrod Straight. Top speed here with the tow, probably looking at 285, 290 kph potentially. For these guys here as under brakes are coming into the chase, and single file up inside the top 10. But further on back is a little bit of fighting between, oh dear me, Darren Crosby trying to go around the outside. I believe it was Anthony Green. Unfortunately, did not make it work there in the M1 Racing Falcon. Puts a wheel in the grass on the brakes and has to dip back to the rear of the train. Though gets it back underway and no one else around. 1 lap down on the board. We stay green here at Bathurst as the leaders are already heading back up the hill for Mountain Straight.
Yeah, Race Control is investigating the turn 1 incident on lap 1 as well, as Anthony Green just loses the spot back after he just gained one there from that side-by-side with Darren Crosby, and a little lock-up into turn 1. Interesting to note as well that top speed, we were talking about top speed down Conrod Straight. Fastest car down Conrod Straight was Simon Mazomo, and he was tucked in under that rear wing of Dan Stevens. 294 kilometres an hour at the braking zone and the turn in for the chase.
Meanwhile, further on back, fight for 11th here indeed. Thomas Riley, Robert Chrisdale side by side. Sean Slater in behind them as they come down into the chase. Chrisdale to the inside of Riley there as they come into the corner proper. Mounts a curb in that 808 machine. He's going to possibly get the job done. Little wobble for Riley on the right there. Will seal the deal surely. Chrisdale knows ahead under brakes from Murray's corner. Although Riley tries to outbrake him here, but on the outside, the camber on the inside of the road there, that allows Chrisdale to finish the job. It's on between Thomas Riley and Sean Slater for 12th place here. Slater ahead through the kink, and Riley in the grass. Oh, that's not going to go well. Can he pull that thing up? Actually, oh, he does a good effort to try. Unfortunately for him, does run a bit too deep and will lose a couple more places as a result. Slots back onto the road in 15th, make that 16th. Sean Slater also has come into the pits from was P4, pardon me, I think. Or was P5, apologies, at the time. He can do a 16-lap final to finish things up here. Sean Slater, one of the drivers who's also pretty long, starting his 12th lap of the stint now in the 39 machine.
I got told I wasn't allowed to put Sean on camera for the entire broadcast. Well, he's made it this far, so I think he deserves a little bit of TV time.
That is probably a fair
You probably remember Saturday night he did say when we were practicing for bragging rights. He did jump in my Twitch chat and say,
That's right, yes.
do not show me on camera. He was very, very unhappy when I said I was going to give him lots of TV time. Well, he's had a little bit. You can have a little bit, Sean. We won't get much more coverage on you for the night. He's doing very, very well. Very consistent, considering he pretty much does one race a year, this race.
Yeah, up 3 spots into P8, although has a little wobble for his troubles out the exit of the cutting there. Maybe now's the time to turn away from Sean unless we give him more grief as we'll check
I'll
out
put the curse on him if I leave him on for too long. I know I would. We are going to have to go to Sean for more TV time because he's actually closed the gap. In last lap by, he gained 2.5 seconds over Nathan Tregarthen, and this lap around, he's gained around about 1.5 seconds. So his pace is actually pretty good at the moment, is Sean Slater. Actually, 2 seconds he's gained, and he probably will get past Tregarthen on the next lap or so, just based on the pace that he's got. Tregarthen's struggling for grip out there as we hit 2/3 race distance. He's not coping too well with the pace of the race at the moment, is Nathan Tregarthen.
He's hit a cliff. He's lapping in the 209s and 210s, which is nowhere near what he can do. Has done laps in the 207s and 208s, so something seriously up with the 035 machine, but he's on his 17th lap on these tyres. That does sort of paint a bit of a picture as to what's up there with the car, and locks up into the cutting there. And Slater behind, looking to try and maximise the entry. Has a wobble for his troubles there at turn 5 as we make our climb up through Sulman Park once more. On board with Tregarthen looking out the back of his car here. You see down into the grate there, try and get out to the wall. And then out to the wall on the exit, of course, as well. Maximising your line. But Slater's car there looking a little bit squirmy at this point too. 14 laps, or 14th lap of the stint for the 39 Jinx Shifters Ratu Racing entry there just behind, but Tregarthen is all kinds of struggling for low speed grip and traction as we come down to the elbow. Look at this, he's locked up on the way in, up against the fence, all kinds of narrow entry, but it does block Slater's exit off the corner and actually might just protect him here because he got caught. Couldn't exit the corner the way he wanted to. The draft, though, might give him a chance at the chase and begin to close in. Henry King into the pit lane for the second time. He is going for an undercut in this second stint. We'll see what he can do.
I had a feeling that was going to be the ploy, the strategy plan there from Henry King was pit late first stint, pit early second stint, and go full guns blazing. He won't have to take as much fuel. He won't have to take as much time for his tyres. And look at the fake out there. I thought Tregarthen was coming. I think Slater was thinking the same thing, and then they both backed out of it at the last second. This is turning into a cool little battle. Henry King's already away, by the way. Only 11 seconds stopped.
Yep, not surprised by that. Gets enough fuel in the car to make it home. He's covered by the change of tyres, you would presume.
Yep.
And yeah, that all checks out. He's going to have to do 14 laps on those tyres, mind you. We've seen so far there are guys struggling with those kind of laps needing to be done on the tyres. But, well, Henry King might be the exception to the rule that's playing out elsewhere in the field, such as right here between Tregarthen and Slater. Another driver into the pit lane for a second time is Stephen Kennedy. 19 laps into a stint there for the... Oh, Tregarthen's found the fence at the cutting on entry. Slaps the right side wall, and that rips a chunk out of the front right corner of his car here. And a mechanical black flag for his troubles. Another driver coming unstuck at the cutting, and now has to come 2/3 of a lap before we can get that car back into the pit lane. And Slater is not going to want to be held up, and indeed Tregarthen's actually going to pull aside here and release the 39 to keep on racing at his pace.
Disappointing to see that happen because they were having a good little fight. We know Tregarthen is very, very good at just maintaining pace and pushing on, but you could tell that he was struggling, couldn't you? You could tell that the car wasn't behaving how it all liked, and that's not a good sight when you see the front wheels lock like that, and he'll limp it home. Now,
likewise, a quick stop there for Dan Stevens after going long in the first stint. That's allowed him to jump Tyler Bowen in the pit cycle there. Team Jinx Shifters, and well, time to get alongside each other there, fellas. Get that photo finish looking just how you want here as round the final turn. Aaron Gilbert and Henry King will come and indeed make it a 1-2. Our final pair of drivers are on track close to each other here. Sean Slater in 39. It's got Darren Crosby about a second and a half back, but that means they should be all good here to the line. 7th and 8th for these two drivers here as they next will be across the line now with a top 6 having finished the race. And indeed, solid gains from Sean Slater, up 4 spots to get to 7th currently. Got one more turn to negotiate. Meanwhile, 9 spots up for Darren Crosby here. Off the back row of the grid for this one here today. And he will bring it home inside the top 10 with an 8th place finish there as they both make it across the line. Here is how they came across the line. Aaron Gilbert in the number 1 car comes home in P1, and as it was just pointed out to us in the broadcast chat, how about that? The number 2 car of Henry King brings it home in P2, and Dan Stevens brings the number 3 home in P3. So, don't think we've seen that any time recently here with a 1-2-3 and 1-2-3, but there you go. It was all meant to be apparently here in the V8's 250 race at the mountain. Jason Spriggs, unfortunately unable to spoil the party there. We'll have to settle for P4 in the number 14 machine. Tyler Bowen was trying to close them down there in the 103 machine, but unable to make inroads there, it seems, in the 103, but he'll hopefully be happy with a P5 to wrap things up, all things considered. Robert Christelle next across the line there in P6. Ends up being a bit of a quiet finish for him. And Sean Slater in 7th had Darren Crosby just over a second back there for 8th. It was Gavin Cox in P9, and Toby Stent brings it home to round out the top 10 there in the 189 machine. And in fact, how about that? Of our 18 cars, just the 10 of them there, and finishing on the lead lap.